on in and have a seat, ladies. Y'all hear about the woman that was married for 20 years that left her husband, and now she's trying to come back and be a side chick to her husband now that her husband has moved on to a whole nother woman? You mean tell me you left a whole 20-year marriage to a faithful, loving, financially providing, provisional husband to now want to come back and try and still step on the toes of a whole nother woman? You can't make this stuff up. Like, you can't make this up at all. Then when she called herself leaving for a whole nother man to turn around not realizing she was a side chick to another woman that got a hold of her to let her know that she was dealing with the same man that she was dealing with. Boy, you can't make this. You tried to one-up your husband that was a faithful husband, that wasn't a cheater, that wasn't one of the kind of dudes that put their hands on women and all that. You had like an upstanding, decent husband, and you left your husband for that. Now you on the outside. What Monica say? Baby, second place don't get a prize when you gonna realize you wasted your time. You how old? Ain't that crap, boy? You can't make this up, y'all. You can't make this. Ain't no way in hell. Ain't no. When you get bored, find you some hobbies and some activities. Y'all, some of these marriages, y'all losing y'all goddamn mind now. The ones where people been cheating and beating on y'all, and y'all finally leaving. Okay, I understand them ones, but some of them other ones, y'all, find y'all something else to do. Y'all done been here too long now.
You see, in life, some people think they're wise, but you have to have more wiseness.
Wise, man.
She thought she was gonna have more money for life, but she gotta make her own
money.
See, Tom Brady learns from the best. Ashraf Hakimi, he's teaching the rest. Put everything in your mom's name. She wants to divorce you. She not getting anything. His net worth is probably more than this, closer to a bill. But you see, he has more wiseness. Stay wise, my brothers. Gotta get your wiseness up.
Ouch. When a man's divorce settlement called for his ex-wife to get half of everything that he owns, well, he took that quite literally. He got out those power tools, went to work, cutting everything he owns right down the middle. Not at all, no. He's totally peaceful about this. And then he posted those photos on eBay, putting half of his car on sale for $60. Half his laptop is also available. Maybe half a couch could be called a love seat. Probably not in this case. But it is a true half-off sale. What kind of a power tool can go right through a car, though?
He's the one.
She told me she's not seeing anyone else, but I checked her tire pressure. It's exactly 32 psi. Come on, girl. You ain't seeing anyone else? You sure about that?
When you meet a chick and she's with her friends, understand that her friends are going to give her the stamp of approval. This means that you have to come off as attractive even to her friends and not just the woman that you're talking to. So a lot of times when I meet a woman and she's with a group of friends, and like say if I ask her who she's with, she's like, oh, these are my friends right here, I'll introduce myself in a way that's even more masculine or even more attractive to the friends than I would to the girl that I'm talking to. The reason I'm doing this is because I know that at the end of the night, or come after I text her a couple of days from then, her friends are going to be the ones to be like, oh, what happened to that guy that you were talking to the other night? He was cute, or I liked him, or something like that. And once she feels that stamp of approval, like, oh, my friends liked him, like they thought that he was cute, she's going to want it from me even more. So always remember that sometimes like a girl may like you, but if her friends don't like you, she won't like you. Because women are very social, they're very calibrated in that way that they think about what the pack likes. And if her friends are like, oh, nah, I wasn't from him, or if her friends even pull her away from you, you're not getting that night or ever.
Want to know a secret that the women will hate me for and they won't admit even though it's true? If she showed you a lot of interest in the beginning and now she seems to be pulling away, that's because she does not have the maturity to tell you that she lost interest, and instead she's leading you on to see if she genuinely wants to be with you or not. She is obviously playing games, whether she knows it or not, and she's just wasting your time as long as you allow it. As complicated as women are, you are the one that gets to decide whether you'd want to deal with it or not. And instead, go for the woman that's okay with pursuing you because she doesn't give a f about masculinity, femininity. She's going to pursue you because she thinks you're attractive, and you're going to pursue her because you think she's attractive, okay? Guys find it hot when you pursue them. Follow me.
am not no girls no more. I'm sorry to say it, but truth be told, I am not no girls no more. Y'all be weird as fuck. Y'all really hate y'all friends on the low. Y'all become envious. Y'all be jealous. Like, y'all be on some weird, like, females really be trying to see how you making ends meet. Like, for real, for real. They be trying to see who you mess with. They be trying to see how you getting this. They be wanting your life, bro. Like, I done had so many friendships to where, like, I'm literally building them. Like, females be so lost. They don't even be having no personality. They just sit around you and soak up how much personality you got. Like, they'll try to act like you. Like, they'll start doing all type of stuff. I am so cool on friendships this year. Like, I'd rather be by myself than to hang around the wrong females because I've been a real life.
Please, I need a husband. I'm tired. Loneliness is choking me. I need a husband. I promise I will not be shaking Nash online again. I am ready to settle down now, please. I need a husband. I need a husband.
And this is what happened. A lot of these women get to be about 30, 40, realize, shoot, I've been out here playing games and it hasn't served me. That man don't like me. Oh, it's about attraction. I shouldn't have to marry or settle for somebody I'm not attracted to. So you telling me that guy in your friend zone you're not attracted to? Oh, he's cute, he's handsome, but he just don't give me the butterflies and the spark. I just don't feel the connection there. Huh. This other guy just has more mystery to him. He just has a little edge, like a little bit of toxicity, but not too much. And now you trying to figure out the mystery of where he went. Left you with 2 or 3 kids. Where did my baby daddy go? That's the mystery that you should have been thinking about having to solve at 40 something years old. And now you want to go with a man with a little bit more predictability. Well, he predicted that you was going to do this. So he went on ahead and got married and had him a family of his own. Now you on here snotting and crying.
Through divorce, I just need to know, does it get easier? Does it get easier being without your kids? Because all I can do every time is cry.
You know, I see these videos and I genuinely feel for the people in them. And I can tell you right now, no, it doesn't get easier. If anything, it gets harder. I know, I've been there. There were many times I dropped my kids back off to their mother and pulled off to the side of the road shortly thereafter to cry my eyes out. It never got easier in the 18-odd years that I had to go through it. I genuinely feel for this young lady, and I'm sorry to tell her, no, it doesn't get any easier. But let's not forget, it's not just the moms that go through this. The dads do every bit as much.
I feel like I've done a really good job of posting content like normal. I'm really struggling this morning. It's just important for me to post these updates for myself just so I don't slip into bad patterns and I remember how I was feeling. Posting online and pretending like I can keep going and I can make jokes and be funny stuff, like it's been so hard. Especially because I haven't posted details online, so I'm getting so many like assholes in my comments. I'm just like, if you knew the truth, like it'd be so much easier just to post that. Post like my really cute aesthetic videos, building my life, finishing my studio, but like I just don't have the energy to do anything. Like I don't have the energy to leave my house. Like I've done a really good job of like exercising every day, having a routine, doing all that stuff. But, like it's just sad. Like I don't know. I feel like I'm the type of person, like, I always need something to look forward to. And I just feel like I have nothing to look forward to. Like, the dating world looks so scared of me. Like, it's just so much easier to stay unhappy than to choose myself. Like, I just, like, need to start getting my life together this week now that I have answers, now that I know what's happening. But, like, I don't want to. Like, it's so hard. But all of you that have gotten a divorce and kept going, like, I'm proud of you, because I feel like I can't right now. It's so hard.
When a woman truly loves you, she speaks differently.
I think she about to cook, y'all.
She does not get on camera and say, oh, well, he wasn't my first choice. I didn't like him. He followed me to the party. You don't speak of your man in that way. If you truly have a heart for him, she is tolerating you until she gets tired enough to take you for everything you got. And you're not willing to listen because you are emotionally tied, which a man should never be or do.
Let her cook, y'all. Let her cook. She cooking.
I know that a lot of women's gonna be mad at what I gotta say about this, but
don't you worry about them ladies, girl. You keep cooking. We got you over here.
A man should know that she wants you more than you want her. If you want her more than she wants you, it's gonna end bad and you are gonna have a stressful relationship.
Is you listening? Is you listening right now?
Because you are going to be trying to do everything possible to keep her in your life, and there's going to become a time period where she just don't care no more.
Ain't that the truth? Ain't that the truth?
Even in the interviews, you say, well, I make sure that I have my hands in a certain way. I make sure that I do this a certain way. The fact that you are behaving like a puppet and not a man when you are in a relationship shows that you are not there with confidence. You are there out of insecurity.
I can't wait to see the comments that come from this video.
Your relationship was never built on love. Your relationship was not built on trust. Your relationship was built on stipulations of if you behave in a certain way, she's going to accept you. If you do certain things, she's going to accept you. And I don't want to hear, well, I moved in with her first because she knew that it was a benefit at the end goal. These type of women have an end goal.
Yo, please comment your thoughts below. That lady cooked and she gave some good feedback. Let me know what you think.
Bro just signed a $46 million 4-year contract. I hope it goes well for you, bro. I really do.
My wife left me after she got in shape and now wants to get back together. I'm confusion. I am not sure why I'm posting this. I probably want some validation as my life turns upside down recently. I, 32 male, was married to my wife, 33 female, for 4 years, and we had a great marriage so far. I was madly in love with my wife. She fell into depression mainly due to her job in 2022. I tried to support her in every way and suggested her going to the gym or doing any kind of sports to distress. I had my own depression episode before we got married, and what saved me was going to the gym. She agreed to that and we started going there together. I could not go as frequent as in the past since my workload got heavier after a promotion. However, I tried my best to be there with her. She used to be a bit chubby, which I loved, and after seeing some changes with her body, she started to go there regularly. I also helped her with depression and she got better. I was really happy to see her get better and livelier. She looked more confident, got more aggressive in bed, and so on. However, after a while, that confidence level started to affect our relationship for the worse. She started going to the parties and going outside to the point she completely stopped doing her share in the house. That proceeded with me seeing her getting flirty with a guy at a meetup we went. I communicated my feelings to her and she dismissed these. After several of these, I had her sit down with me and told her that she is riding high on her newly found confidence and emotions right now. I clearly stated she should not make decisions or actions according to that confidence right now. I know it well. It was one of my worst traits. I used to be extremely emotionally driven in the past. I suggested we go to marriage counseling. She said vile things to me, like how she realized she settled down with me after getting better and she could do so much better than me. She said I'm insecure and other things. This woman used to be the sweetest person on earth, and I was shocked after hearing the things she said to me. She filed for divorce the following month, and I did not hear much from her other than some lawyer talk. Our court seeing is scheduled to be next month, and my lawyer told me there is a high chance it'll be concluded then. There's not much to share, similar income, only shared assets is our joint account, similar savings, and no kids. House is my mom's, so it's out of the division. I accepted my marriage is going to end like that. Last week, she called crying and told me she regrets everything. She apologized over and over again, but I felt disappointed, not angry, not sad, but just disappointed. She did not text me nor call me even once since the divorce started. I did not even know where she was since she just left the home. I told her there is no going back now. She has been messaging me nonstop. My family supports my decision and tell me I should not back down. Exactly, don't. And you're gonna do stupid stuff and then try to put a band-aid on it? No ma'am, that scar is gonna stay there. My in-laws were shocked when they heard about the divorce. They are now telling me to rethink everything. No, she decided to be not my problem and she's not my problem. Take your kids. Take your daughter. I will 99.9% not back down, but as I said, just looking for validation and maybe wanted to vent. Thank you for reading. She had no problem floating in front of you. You communicated with her how you've been feeling, and please don't do that. I know you're on a high right now. Just, cool it a little bit, on the flirty side. Is it easy to do the wrong thing? Yes. It's hard to get out of the wrong thing. She just needs to take it as a lesson learned. She learned it. Don't do it again with whoever else. She already did it. To this person, there's no going back. Move on.
Woman in the comments said she let a man take her away from her supportive husband. Yep, she needs to take the L and learn from it. Another woman says she clearly didn't respect him or the relationship to begin with. Stay gone. OP, stay gone.
I'm divorced. I thought I'd be happier, except the judge set the child support amount at $326 a month. $326 a month for 2 kids for child support is what he has to pay me. $326 a month because he's not working, because he chooses not to. I was able to cross-examine him, which was fun, and I asked him how many hours a week he spends working or trying to sell houses, because technically he still has a real estate license, so technically he's still a realtor. He said 15 hours a week approximately is how many hours he works per week. Grown man, grown able-bodied man with transportation and no childcare to worry about, says he works 15 hours a week.
A woman in the comments said the good news is you can get a job to supplement the $326. Best of luck, ma'am. Yep, she gonna need it. David said go ahead and be a strong and independent woman. Go ahead and get that $326. Go ahead and get that other job back. These modern women will talk all this trash and then get back on here and be like, man, it's tough. Well, I wouldn't change it for anything, but oh my God, it's tough. Give them another 2 or 3 years, they bawling their eyes out. I remember a woman who said, I wish I could find that clip. She was bawling in the car, talking about, by this time last year, I was divorced. And I was hoping a year later, I would be able to tell you that everything is going great. But it's not. And I'm suffering.
I just came to the realization that, like, if you're 40 years old, you're never gonna find love. Like, oh my God. Sorry, I woke up like really, really emotional because I was married for, oh my God, I need to stop. I was married for over 20 years, and like, I was so used to being a wife. Like, I loved being married, you know, like, I love being a wife. I love having like that one person I love coming home to and like venting all my to. And now it's like, yeah, you date people and like sparks fly, and then it's just like, oh, I found better, you know?
This is another classic case of a woman who had a loyal husband, a stable home, and 20 years of shared history, and still said, I'm bored, so she left.
Man, let us know what y'all think about this. Leave a comment down below.
And what she said was very important. I miss coming home to somebody that I can vent to. This is the part of the relationship that women seem to always forget. They have to come home and just dump, emotional dump. Oh, I take care of all the domestic labor, the PTA meetings, whatever meeting, whatever doctor's appointment, I take care of all of it. But they don't tell you that they've been ruining your mental health for going on 20, 25 years by dumping all their emotional trauma, all of their nonsense, all of their drama from work, family, stuff that you almost got into altercations over. You got to be ready. They don't talk about that. They just talk about how they had to make a call. Nowadays, you can just get on your phone. 2 or 3 seconds, you'd have made a doctor's appointment. Nowadays, you can just sit on the phone and talk to the doctor and say, hey, I need this medicine. And they'll send it to the pharmacy. Oh, I don't want to get out the house. Have them mail it to you. Easy. But a lot of these women are still talking about how they can do bad on their own. They can do this, they can do that. A man ain't doing nothing. And how hard their job is as a mother, as a nurturer. I need to provide a man to take me out of my masculine and put me in my feminine. So they decide it's better on the other side, fool around and leave. And this is what the other side looks like. Be safe out there.
Part 2. My wife divorced me with someone rich and came back to me after they went broke. I saw my ex-wife's name, now carrying the last name of her boss. I dug deeper and found out that they were my tenants in a small apartment complex I owned in the rougher part of the city. I usually have a property manager, but sometimes I go through all my properties to ensure everything is in order. I decided to visit that complex, especially since many of my tenants had been complaining about their washers and dryers. I drove there with the maintenance team and started pointing out what needed to be fixed and replaced. That's when I saw my ex-wife holding her laundry basket as she walked in, asking if the washer and dryer were ready to use. She saw me, recognized me, and called my name. She asked what I was doing there, assuming I was there as maintenance. My worker laughed and said, "Him? He's our boss," as he continued working. She looked at me and continued the conversation. She asked how I became rich, and I replied that I just ended up being lucky. I told her I owned a construction company and multiple properties, including the complex she lives in. She looked disappointed and told me that ever since we broke up, her life has been on a downward spiral. I asked if she was married, and she lied, saying no. I asked what happened to the guy she left me for, and she told me his supermarket went bankrupt after he developed a gambling addiction. She then asked if I was single and suggested we go to dinner together. I laughed, but she said she was serious, and that I could finally give her the things she always wanted. She claimed she was giving me a chance to redeem myself for the past, and I burst out laughing. I told her that I'm happily married and showed her my ring. I also told her to go fuck and called her a gold digger. My workers started giggling, and some of them began talking among themselves about what they had just heard. It felt good to finally call her a gold digger after all this time. Not to mention, her life turned upside down for being greedy.
You're going to leave me and then give me another chance? Give me another chance? Girl, get out my face.
Part 2. My wife divorced me with someone rich and came back to me after they went broke. I saw my ex-wife's name, now carrying the last name of her boss. I dug deeper and found out that they were my tenants in a small apartment complex I owned in the rougher part of the city. I usually have a property manager, but sometimes I go through all my properties to ensure everything is in order. I decided to visit that complex, especially since many of my tenants had been complaining about their washers and dryers. I drove there with the maintenance team and started pointing out what needed to be fixed and replaced. That's when I saw my ex-wife holding her laundry basket as she walked in, asking if the washer and dryer were ready to use. She saw me, recognized me, and called my name. She asked what I was doing there, assuming I was there as maintenance. My worker laughed and said, "Him? He's our boss," as he continued working. She looked at me and continued the conversation. She asked how I became rich, and I replied that I just ended up being lucky. I told her I owned a construction company and multiple properties, including the complex she lives in. She looked disappointed and told me that ever since we broke up, her life has been on a downward spiral. I asked if she was married, and she lied, saying no. I asked what happened to the guy she left me for, and she told me his supermarket went bankrupt after he developed a gambling addiction. She then asked if I was single and suggested we go to dinner together. I laughed, but she said she was serious, and that I could finally give her the things she always wanted. She claimed she was giving me a chance to redeem myself for the past, and I burst out laughing. I told her that I'm happily married and showed her my ring. I also told her to go fuck and called her a gold digger. My workers started giggling, and some of them began talking among themselves about what they had just heard. It felt good to finally call her a gold digger after all this time. Not to mention, her life turned upside down for being greedy.
You're going to leave me and then give me another chance? Give me another chance? Girl, get out my face.
I used to hate my husband, and it blows my mind with now things are completely different between us. He's a whole different person. I'm a whole different person, and I give all of that thanks to God. After my divorce, my husband and I did not get along. We both hated each other. He hated me so much that he couldn't even communicate with me about the kids. I remember calling him and texting him about the children, any issues with the kids, and he wouldn't respond to me. He wouldn't pick my phone calls up. He wouldn't text me back. And when he did text me back, it would be days later. He just did not want to speak to me. And even though I didn't like him and he didn't like me, it was just so bad. Like, we couldn't even talk about the children. It was that much hate between us. But little did I know that our divorce would lead us both to God. As I was getting closer to God, I remember when I was praying, God would put in my heart to pray for my ex-husband. And I was like, no, like, I don't want to pray for him. Like, he done me so wrong. Like, he's just so mean to me. Like, I don't want to pray for him. And this was my thought at the time. Like, I don't want to pray for him. He hurt me so bad. He embarrassed me. I just don't want to pray for him. And through that, God started showing me, like, my heart, like, Sabi, if you don't forgive, then I won't forgive you. And I was just like, oh my goodness, you're right. If I don't forgive, you won't forgive me. And he kept pressing on my heart. God kept pressing me to pray for my ex-husband. And even though it was painful, when I tell you it was painful, I literally wanted to cry. I began to pray for him. So almost every night, whenever I pray for myself and my children, as I do each night, I pray for him. I ask God to protect him. I asked God to save him. If he's not saved, I was praying for him to give his life to God and for God to turn him around and make him a better person, a better father. I was just praying whatever God placed in my heart each night. I would be praying for him. And I started doing that for a whole entire year. I was praying for him. In the beginning, it was so painful because he hurt me so bad. I was just so embarrassed. I had, during that time, a lot of unforgiveness towards him because of what he did. It just hurt me and it pained me during that time to pray. But I remember the scripture that if we don't forgive others, God will not forgive us. And I wanted God to forgive me. And I didn't want God to hold out over my head. And I wanted my prayers to be answered. Because if we had unforgiveness, God would not hear us. He would not hear our prayers. So I'm like, okay, God, I'm going to release him from my heart and I'm going to do what you tell me to do and pray for him. So for that whole entire year, I was praying for my ex-husband, praying for his salvation, just speaking life over him for a whole year. But little did I know, God was working behind the scenes. He was supposed to be stationed in a whole different state, but they ended up sending him to Texas where I was, and he wasn't too far from me. So he started visiting his kids almost every weekend. But this particular weekend, he came to my house, was hanging out with the kids. I'm sitting on the couch and he comes over to sit next to me. And one thing led to another where we started talking about the past. And I ended up saying to him that I want him to forgive me for everything that I've done to him. And I was just laying out everything I did to him in the past. And then he ends up in tears. He ends up in tears and asking me for his forgiveness. He said to me, I want you to forgive me for everything I've done. And he was laying things out and I was saying things to him and we ended up just bawling. When I tell you, just crying. And I'm like, God, you knew that this moment would happen. You knew that you would send him from Hawaii to Texas for this moment right here. You knew that we needed this time to ask each other for forgiveness. And it was just such an amazing moment. And after that moment, I started to see a change in him. Our relationship got better. It was just such an amazing co-parenting relationship. We started going to church with each other. And a couple years after that, he ended up giving his life to God. He ends up getting baptized. And then we end up getting married and having our rainbow baby. So we are happily married now. We have our rainbow baby. Our family is complete. God is so good. And I'm so happy that I was obedient during that time and I prayed for my ex-husband. And I didn't even know that during that time he was going through things that he didn't even speak on. But my prayers helped him. And I only found out about that afterwards, after having a conversation about what he went through during that time. And my prayers worked. My prayer helped him. Even though he wasn't speaking to me, it was helping him. It was softening his heart to accept Jesus Christ as his Lord and Savior. I'm just so happy how our lives turned out. I'm grateful for our family. I'm grateful for our new baby. God is just amazing.
And I want to highlight, this is what happens when you consider. It's just a consideration, because a lot of women wouldn't even consider how the man was feeling. They would just say he was wrong, he's a narcissist, he's terrible. And he might have done things that are terrible. That's probably the case in a relationship. You say something to hurt that person and they say something to hurt you back. And both of y'all have something that y'all should talk about. But usually with modern women, they don't think that they did anything wrong. It's always the man's fault. And if he doesn't be the leader, see, they always want the man to be the leader. Well, he needs to come talk to me first. He needs to come and bow down to me first. He needs to do what I want. He needs to prove to me that he is worthy to be in my presence. And when that man goes and says, you know what, let me be the leader. Let me be the leader. Let me humble myself. Let me apologize to my wife and say, I want to be a family man. I want to do what I'm supposed to do. No apology ever comes his way. No, I'm sorry. No, yeah, I could have done better myself. Hey, I'm sorry I talked to you like that. Nothing ever comes his way. And the man over and over again has to apologize and bow down. And men are tired of that, man. So I give you your kudos for going in there. Because a lot of women say, oh, I'm a woman of God, or I love God, and me and my relationship with Jesus, we just like that. And they don't do nothing that man say. They don't read their Bible. They read the Bible when it talks about you being right. But then when it talks about you having to do things and you having to be humble and you having to do unto others and love others like you love yourself. Oh, Pastor, what do you think? Pastor, what do you think that verse really means? Does it really mean that I actually, pastor tell you, pastor's wife tell you, pastor and his whole ministry tell you, Sunday school, Bible study, prayer time, they all tell you what that means? But for some reason, I had to stop going to that church because it didn't serve me. They just kept on telling me lies, and I knew in my heart that God wasn't speaking to me like that. He's not speaking to you at all because you're in rebellion. Because you don't want to hear right. You don't want to be accountable for the stuff that you did wrong. And that's why men don't want to be in relationships with women no more.
I just watched a video that's very disturbing. So this lady divorced her husband of 20 years. Not because he cheated, not because he was abusive. Because she said that the relationship got boring after 20 years. So she divorced him. A year or two after the divorce, she realized there wasn't nothing out in these streets. And she had a rude awakening and everything. Her friends sold her a pipe dream that being single, hot girl life, and all this stuff was the thing to be. She's quickly reminded and shown that her friends lied to her. Fast forward. Husband done moved on. Well, ex-husband done moved on. You know what I mean? She, they got kids together, so she would see him and she started to shoot her shot back at her husband. And he was like, nah, pretty much. You know what I mean? He's seeing somebody. She is mad at him because he done moved on. 2 years after she done divorced him. And now she feel like the woman he's with now got her life. Because now she feel like the husband is more, spontaneous now. They going on trips. They doing this. They doing that. And she feel like, well, now he has become everything that she wanted him to be. Going out and stuff like that. And now she got a problem with the new girlfriend. You know what I mean? She causing all this commotion and nonsense in their relationship. And now this dude, don't want to do nothing to do with her. Even with the kids. Because now she's making it difficult with him and the kids because now she want him back. Now she's on the internet crying, and all this stuff. It's unfortunate, man. People make impulsive decisions, never weigh out the consequences, and now this other woman is getting a life that could have been yours. It's crazy.